Hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit.
Yay! And we are live for day 10. I can't believe I've made it 10 days. 10 whole days. So, my name is Michelle, aka the Ignited Teacher. And what I do on this channel is I help math teachers like yourself. And let me turn down my phone because it's always up. I help math teachers like you to close learning gaps by providing you with research-based and evidence-based math tips that you can use as early as the next day in your classroom. Real simple, real simple. So I am the math intervention go-to for math intervention and closing learning gaps. I base this all on the math intervention cycle that I have created and used for many, many, many years. So I was looking for my other window to pop up, and it finally popped up. If you are interested in becoming a part or joining the 12 days of giveaway, you only have 2 days to get on the email list. And I know in teacher fashion, I know a lot of teachers are shutting down for the school year, for next semester, and they're not thinking about it. But I promise you, there will be teachers that say, well, can I get the freebies? Is this still like, no, it's not going on. So hopefully, if you don't catch it this year, you can catch me next year for the 12 days of giveaway. It'll be something different. Maybe I'll do the same thing. I'm not sure. Definitely the different freebies will be different because that'll be a whole 12 months away. So you have 2 days. We have covered all of these, and today we are going to discuss, and I'm going to share some of what I have learned to do with secondary students who struggle with solving equations. And here's my, I guess, for lack of a better term, my plea to Algebra 1 teachers. I do understand that students do not come with well, even on their facts, they can barely read. I get this. And they don't know how to multiply. And it's frustrating. It is. But I was an elementary teacher before I ever taught any secondary class. But when you stick a calculator into a struggling child's hand, it does not make it better. Actually, you're making it worse. You're having a child rely on something that they know nothing about. I've seen children use an equation solver and don't have a clue because the teacher didn't want to teach them how to solve equations by hand. I don't care how hard it is, and yes, your students need to learn how to solve equations by hand. What mechanic doesn't work on a car to know how a computer can help them fix a car. You got to know about the car first before you can do anything with it. So that's what I'm talking about today. And I'm going to share my screen. This is a hands-on equation, is part of a hands-on equation kit. And what it comes with is green and red number cubes. So one of the biggest issues that students struggle with, it's not solving equations. It's the integer piece. Because they struggle with number sense, a lot of the students don't understand this piece. They don't understand that, hey, X in the white pawn stands for X. It's red, so it's -5 equals 15. So they have to first understand that an equation has an equal sign in the middle. And normally I write on this and put an equal sign here. So the students will know that you have to keep it balanced. And they don't, a lot of students, I mean, I guess teachers take it for granted that this is a simple concept, but it's not. It is not a simple concept. So, yesterday we talked about fractions. I mean, not fractions, Lord have mercy. We talked about integers and using two colored counters for integers. So I'm going to go to my Instagram account. So if you want to know some of these things, you can, let me look and find it. I should have pulled it up. This is poor, but I was rushing to get home. I had some things to do at work. So let me find it because it represents this. And I actually taught a lot of the anchor charts and pictures that I have. Well, all of them are from my classroom or activities that I have done in my classroom. But it's, oh, here it is. Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Now I got to start over because I clicked on the wrong thing. Ridiculous. So let me see. Mm, there it is again. Okay. So let me share this screen. So this is from my Instagram account. You can follow me at the Ignited Teach. And as you can see, I started out with my students. I started out with, even though they had the cubes, they needed the conceptual part. Because they could not understand it without the concept first. So if you're going to try this method, or you can create your own, you don't have to purchase it from Hands-On Equation. It was just easier because they laminated everything and it came with the cubes. But I do recommend that you begin with two color counters, because once you start adding the numbers, it's very, very abstract for students. So I gave they were working in pairs. I gave each student two color counters, and they had to model the equation and actually solve it. That green algebra tile, it represented a positive x, so it's x plus 2 is equal to 5. And you can see that person has it on their dry erase board. My version of the dry erase board. The next one is, let me see. Where's my, oh, there it is. I'm trying to. All right, so this is actually a model that I used on my board. And it shows the zero pairs or the cancellation. Like I said, if you are not familiar with this, you can watch yesterday, which was day 9, to get caught up on the zero pairs and using. So this is something that I used on my board. It has a positive X, which is the green long, and these are magnetic. This is a whiteboard that this is on, just a dry erase board. They had yellow and then red. So as you can see, I'm showing the students the zero pairs, and then X is equal to what, 5? And that's the first step in actually doing this. And it's what I have today's freebie is. I give you what you need. So, like if you want to use this, you can. It's the very same thing that is in those pictures. This is today's freebie. But this is where you begin. It starts very conceptual. If you don't, you know, understand it, you can always reach out to me or become a part of my community. I have a free community, and you can get your questions answered there. So let me hop back over to here. Now, here I have X plus. Now, this is abstract. So once your students have mastered the concept, because what you're doing is forcing them to create the equation and then solve it. This one, the equation is already created, and you're just really focusing on solving the equation. So here, and they have the green number cues. So it's x minus 5 is equal to 15. So we know that we have to create a zero pair. So the students look for a number 5 and they put it here. So what that shows is a representation of a zero pair. Once that zero pair, we know a negative 5 and a positive 5 is 0. So now we have X. And what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Sorry, I skipped over. So now we have what we do to one side, we do to the other. So 15 has a 5 in it. So X minus 5 and 15 minus 5, as you can remember, I said this is a balance. So what it does is it shows that if the students haven't done what they needed to do to the right side because they added 5 to the left side, then it'll show it. So 0, 0, and X is equal to 10. Real simple, something that the students can do on once they have mastered that skill. But it has to start really conceptual with the students. Now, you're probably saying, well, what about variables on both sides? That takes a lot of practice. You're really scaffolding and moving the students up. But this is the basics. And once they have this, they should really they will understand that we're going from left to right or right to left. And it doesn't matter in equations long as this stays balanced. So that is all I have for day 10. I didn't want to go too deep into it because it's really about integers when you're solving equations, especially with variables on both sides. They have to understand in that moment that those integers, you're going back and forth to keep it balanced. And a lot of them don't want to do that. Calculators are not the answer. They're not. Please force your students to solve equations by hand, especially your struggling students, because they need to understand. I do understand that we are in the day and age of test, and is connected to my evaluation. But even if you give them a calculator, please teach them how to solve equations by hand so they can understand what they're doing. So if you have not signed up, sign up in the description of the YouTube channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 11. Bye bye.